actually my 10th year. My first year was 2010 when Ink and Dagger played.
This is my third This Is Hardcore. My first one was 2017.
I've probably shot 4 or 5. I came from the very first one because I lived in Philly at the time. And I missed a few years. I moved away, and I've been steady. This, I think, is my third straight that I've shot. So
I have shot 4 This Is Hardcores, if I'm doing the math right, and I started in 2016.
This is 6 or 7. I'd have to think about that for a second. I came to it a few times before I started to shoot it.
My first fest was in 2009, and I came back. The second year, it came back here at the Electric Factory.
I think my awesome group of photographer friends, it's a fun vacation weekend, listening to some great music and learning about new bands, seeing a bunch of old bands, and getting some great photos.
Hardcore is my heart. I love it so much. And photography is my passion, so what's better than combining the two? So it's an honor.
The community, the people that I see year after year that treat me well and treat me nice and take care of me, and the energy of this crowd.
I would just say pure addiction. Just going to shows in general and being allowed and able to capture that moment is, the most rewarding thing that I can do. Going to shows and not taking pictures is it's so hard because you sit back and you're actually watching it, and people are saying, "Oh, you don't have to take pictures. You can enjoy yourself." It's not. Going to shows and not taking pictures is taking out the enjoyment that I have to going to shows, because I love and enjoy taking photos the entire time.
I love it. I love the energy, the people. It's just so much fun. I can't even describe how much fun I have doing this.
It's almost like a school reunion. You catch up with a lot of friends you haven't seen. I get to work with a lot of photographers that I enjoy their stuff, and it's good to catch up with them. And of course the bands, just the general festival experience is pretty cool.
Well, since I don't shoot on the stage, they can do what they like up there. As far as etiquette goes, if you're really tall, stand behind the really short people. But I think that don't get in front of the band. Don't stop the band from doing what they're doing. You're not there to be the star. You're there to document what's going on. But really, everybody should shoot in the pit like me.
I would have to say my biggest pet peeve is just people not being aware of their surroundings. Not just about us photographers. It's the musicians. They're up there too, and we have to be careful, not to hurt them and anything like that, because it sucks. And and then we're very fortunate that we have an awesome photography team for the fest. But sometimes, when you go to a normal show, or even other outside photographers from our team, they're not about. They're more about just getting the shot more than working together with each other. So just be just be mindful of everyone around you, the photographers. Everyone's putting in this work, and it's a team effort to capture the whole fest and any show in general.
2 things. I think sometimes people were a little inconsiderate to us shooting. A lot of times our eyes are in the camera, so it's kind of hard to watch your feet and stuff. So kicking towards people on the stage is kind of lame. The other thing that bugs me, it's not even photography-wise, it's when people have a tendency to push band members out of the way so they can stage mosh or whatever. I remember a few years ago that was really big with Turnstile, just pushing the singer, the guitar player out of the way so they can show off their moves and then die. That's, let the band still do their thing.
I would say communication. Just communicating and finding placements of what works best for each other photographers, other people who are on stage. Yeah, I don't even know if that answers the question, but yeah.
Pet peeves are, I understand people are tired, but if you need to rest, try not get in the way of the people who are working the fest. It's very hard for us because we're trying, and you're in our way, and we don't want to be mean about it, but we're exhausted too. We've been up here for God knows how many bands, so just be aware of that. If you need to rest, fine, go towards the back, and please don't throw beer at us like you did last night.
Stage etiquette, pretty much everybody swap around and stay out of each other's way and help each other out. Pet peeves, when people stand in front of you, maybe purposely getting kicked, which has happened, but, it's par for the course.
I use a Nikon D810. I use off-camera flash, and that's really my setup, just an off-camera flash.
I bring 2 cameras, and the fisheye I use Nikon 750 and an 850.
Right now I'm running a Nikon D500. I have a 10-20 millimeter lens I use. I've been using a fisheye. It's really dependent on the bands, the crowd, and the lighting. I have to try to figure out what's going to work best for the best shots.
I'm a Nikon shooter. Right now I'm shooting with a D5. Usually 2 or 3 flashes off the camera. This year I went real light. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it. I had work obligations, and I got out of them right at the last minute. If not this, then Z6 is what I've been shooting for a lot of shows lately, which is Nikon's mirrorless camera. But mostly this, because of the ISO performance and the speed. It lets me make the hyperlapse things that I do.
So I run with 2 different camera bodies, mainly use my D4, and if I'm on stage, I'm using a 16-35 lens, and if I'm shooting in the balcony, I am shooting with a 7200, and if I'm doing any film work or anything like that, I also use a 50 millimeter. I would have to say doing interviews like this and talking about myself, because I absolutely hate it. But generally, the most stressful part is showing up on time. I am always late during this artwork because I have to, from being so tired and sleeping in and up all night, backing up my photos from the night before and then getting ready for the next day. And it's like a race. It's always like a race to get here. And Sunday is always the worst day.
It was probably the year after I hurt my knee and attempting to shoot with a torn meniscus. I was a disaster. I ended up in a brace partway through the fest. The climbing on and off stage, I was done. It was just emotionally and physically draining.
My most stressful fest experience was probably this Friday night when I got kicked in the chest and knocked off stage backwards. And I couldn't breathe for like 15 minutes, but here I am, so it worked out.
Trying to figure out the right settings on the camera, because everything changes. If you're shooting towards the crowd, right now with the sun, there's all this light coming in from the doors, that throws exposure off. If you shoot back towards the bands, things are like getting underexposed. So unlike some photography, it's hard because everything's always changing, even like the house lights.
I shot my first fest, 2016. I did not fucking eat. Oh shit. I did not eat. I don't even know if I drank. I was just so hyped on like photographing and being there. And Youth of Today was there, Burn was there. It was an amazing festival. So it was stressful because I got so sick my 4th day. And I remember Anne being like, you have to eat, here's drink, here's Starburst, you need sugar. But yeah, I definitely think that was like the most stressful, but I think now I kind of got the hang of it. So yeah.
About 10 minutes ago, a kid rolled over my knee sideways. I thought that I tore my ACL for a second. And then when I saw Balaram and Kid 08 decide to start singing, I ran forward and knocked over a bunch of kids to go get those pictures. That was stressful because, at 47 and 300 pounds, like tearing my knee up is not high on my list of things to do. The best part is when the bands reach back out to you and let you know that they appreciate what you're doing, and the kids reach out and let you know what they're doing. And by kids, I mean everybody that comes to a hardcore show. We're all kids. The shooting is a blast, and that's why I continue to do it. It's not the editing and it's not the posts. I could do without that at this point in my life. But when people share it, when people let you know that they like what you're doing, it gives you some validation for coming here to do this. None of us are making any money off of this. At best I get paid in t-shirts, which is cool, but yeah, it's the validation of people enjoying and letting you know that they like what you do.
I think that I like the actually after editing, the posting, and everybody, like the exposure that we all get and sharing with each other.
I like a little bit of it all, but I think ultimately, after I'm done editing, everyone thinks you just take a photo, throw it in Lightroom or whatever, and it magically comes out. But you still have to take the photo and figure out how you want it done. So all those things are just essentially developing. Same way you'd be developing film.
I love shooting, just being in the moment, shooting, getting the people, having so much fun with it. And then I do love going through in the editing and seeing just exactly what I got. Because sometimes I forget what I took because I'm shooting so many bands, and I'm like, ooh, or looking and saying, oh, there's my friend doing that, and I didn't even realize they were in the shot.
When I'm in the moment and photographing, I mean, it's hard to because I get kind of distracted. I don't know if I could I'm so busy smiling and singing, but I also have to concentrate. So that's a little rough, but I definitely love that part so much. With editing, I love just getting home, uploading, putting on music, and then just reflecting back at everything. So I don't know, those are my two favorite parts.
So my favorite part of the photography process that I have is most people don't print photos, but I'm obsessed seeing my work printed and others' work printed. So because there's a saying that it's not a true photograph until it's been printed, because a digital file is nothing, unless it's printed. And seeing that done, and you get, and I love blowing stuff up super big. I'm running out of wall space. And not with just my work, with others' work. Todd Pollock's stuff's amazing.
I do this shit with my whole heart. There's nothing more that I love than hardcore. I fucking love it. And photography has been in my life since I was 9 years old. So it truly is a dream to photograph. This is hardcore. I moved to Philadelphia when I was 17. I remember reaching out to Joe first thing and being how can I do this? And he was amazing about it. And he reached out to me, and in 5 minutes he sent me a long email telling me to talk to Anne Spina. And ever since then, it's truly a dream come true. So, yeah.
I do this because I generally enjoy it. It's not a job for me. It's a hobby. I started off moshing and doing zines and putting out records, and now here I am in my elder years still trying to figure out how I can participate. And, to me, what the best part is just trying to capture these bands, capture these moments. And so I do put a lot of work into it. I drive out here, I take time off work, gas, tolls, food, all that stuff. And but it's what I like doing, and so it's all kind of worth it.
One thing, I think that as us photographers, and I speak mostly for myself, but all of us, we give up a lot of our free time to put into this for nothing, just for the joy and exposure for the viewer's experience.
I would say, I do this because I love it and I'm very passionate about it, but the most rewarding thing is when people see themselves in my images and or any photographer's images, it's a good feeling, because that most of the people are super stoked about it, and it's not just about getting a cool profile pic or anything like that, or Instagram likes. It's about also supporting those bands that are up there, and they can use our images in their records, posters, everything, and to their merch. And one thing that I love to do is I always put stuff up for sale, and I put it out there, but all money that I ever make usually goes to a charity. And I had a T-shirt line that worked with bands, and photos could be used for so many different things. And that, to me, I think that's what's important.
I think that these days everybody knows what we're doing out there. That there's a lot of shooting. That there's a lot of pictures that get thrown away. That the lights are challenging. That with these crazy LEDs, and it makes it harder to shoot than ever. And that we're out there with even the cheapest cameras out there for people that are shooting this are $700 or $800, and then upwards of 10,000 that I carry basically with me because I'm a knucklehead. and that when that stuff gets broken to make these pictures and to help the bands promote this scene, that, you know, that's on us. You know, and like we need to fix that stuff, and like I don't know if they take that. And I'm not asking them to avoid me in the pit, obviously. It would just be nice if they don't go out of their way to hurt the people that are on stage. I make a choice to go in the pit. I know I'm going to get bumped around. But if they could not go out of their way to crush the people on stage, that'd be great.
We work very hard. We do this for free. We don't get paid. Bands need photos. They're messaging us. We're getting photos to them as quick as we can. We're getting photos out so you can do them. Yeah, we do this for you.
Go to hell!